Today we are piecing a gorgeous table runner, and it's easier than you think. So come join me.
Good morning, gifted crafters. It's crafting time.
So nervous, I started to quilt. Freedom is earned, that's how this country was built. Gathered my fabric, dotting and thread, just thinking of you. It's all in my head. Thanks to our military, thank you for our brave. Thanks for all that you do, keeping us safe. They are not alone, they have families to love our troops. This quilt is dedicated to you. Nights are long and we're a world apart, making this quilt with you in my heart. Tears in my stitches, adjusting its length. Pray every day to keep you safe, with courage and strength. Thanks to our military, thank you for our brave. Thanks for all that you do, keeping us safe. They are not alone, they have families to love our troops. This quilt is dedicated to you.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, Gifted Crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there. We've got people that tune in from all over the place, and if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy with Gifts HQ, and on this channel we just talk about anything crafting, and we have a lot of fun doing it together. So if you're into sewing, quilting, decoupage, knitting, crocheting, and so much more, you're definitely in the right place. Pop your name into the chat and say hello, because we have an awesome community that is out there. In fact, let's see who we have with us today. I see Bettina. Good morning to you. Barb Chumley, how you doing? I hope you're feeling good. Nancy, good morning from Boston. We've got Deborah from Memphis, Tennessee. We've got our friends here from Canada. Hope you guys are staying nice and warm. We've got Lori here from Virginia. Good morning. We've got Shay Shay with us this morning. Good morning to you. We've got Lisa Lilly from Richmond, Illinois. Good morning. Jackie Hallman from Dover, Pennsylvania. We've got Belinda Thompson from Illinois. Good morning to you from that windy city in Chicago. We've got Robin's Quilt Basket. Good morning. Hope everything's going well. We've got Terry with us this morning, and they're expecting 60 degrees. Oh, yay, from Ohio. Hope you guys get warmed up over there. Deborah, good morning to you. We've got Barbara Nance from Ohio. JBL, good morning. Georgette from Knoxville, Tennessee. Good morning to you. We've got Jenny Owens here. Hope you're feeling a little better today. Barbara, good morning to you. We've got Doris, good morning to you. Sue Galvin is here with us today. Good morning. We've got Flo from North Carolina. Awesome. We've got Marge from Wisconsin. Good morning. Scrapping like a lady. She's all cut out. Good for you. We've got Joyce. Good morning to you. We've got Jaws Mom from Lake Ridge, Virginia, and so many more. I think you guys get the picture. There's just people that tune in from everywhere, and we just have so much fun together. So I hope I'm able to put a little giggle in your day. Alrighty, guys. I know that it is Happy Hump Day today, right? So we're happy we're there. We're halfway there. I do have, before I forget, a bit of an announcement tomorrow. I will not be live tomorrow. I do have a meeting that I need to run into in the office, so I'll have to actually leave the house to go into that meeting. So I will not be able to stream tomorrow. It's just one day, but we'll be back on Friday, and we're going to get a lot done today, so you've got plenty to keep you busy. So lots of homework for you guys to get things done. Alrighty, good morning, Chris from Ocala. How are you? Thanks for joining. Alrighty, guys, I think we better run along since we do have a lot to do today. I think we better run along and grab yourself a cup of whatever it is that you have in the morning, coffee, tea, soda, water. You guys know the drill. There's no judgment here, and you guys can just have anything you want. Anything that makes you happy, right? So go ahead and raise those glasses. If you don't have a glass, don't worry, I will pour you a cup. So go ahead and raise those glasses to a fantastic day. I hope you guys have a great time. So raise them nice and high, and cheers everyone to a fantastic Wednesday. All righty, grab yourself a little swivel there. Okay, oh, that feels good in the morning. Ready to get going. All right, so guys, we are ready to go. So I think that, you know, we need to kind of get a little snack going, don't you think? Let's go ahead and grab some snacks here. We're gonna go ahead and head on over, and I think we're gonna do the food truck today. What do we have today with us, Mr. H?
Shack?
Food Shack. Okay, we're going to the Food Shack, Mr. H says. So let's go. Let's go to the beach then. Yay. Let's do a little fabric happy dance. Do some happy tunes too, right? We're at the beach and there's all kinds of things there. So you can go ahead and have anything you want. Don't feed the dolphins though, okay? That's the one rule that we have. But we have everything here. We've got coffee, we've got donuts, we've got, yeah, even rolling donuts that are coming around. We've got croissants and muffins too. So go ahead and grab anything you want. And for the healthy folks, carrots and kale are out there, but I like strawberries and bananas. So I think that's out there as well. Don't forget to put your little drone delivery in. If you just can't make it out of your bed and don't want to get outside, go ahead and put your deliveries in. All your orders are being taken right now and they're totally free. So go ahead and put that through so we can get that over to you. Okay, guys? Awesome. Yay. Coffee, coffee. Cheers everywhere. Yes, I see that. All righty. No worries. Jenny, we will get that coffee over to you. And yeah, best sweets are the viral sweets. Yeah, definitely. Virtual sweets, I mean. Yeah, Chris, absolutely. And Robin can never have enough donuts. So we have to, you know, keep her habit going, right? Alrighty, so we've got our snacks, we've got our drinks, and I hope you guys are in your little cozy spot, or at least a safe place to watch, because we're ready to start here. And we're, like I said, we're going to make some fabric dance today, and they're going to do a happy little tune for us today, okay? So let's get that fabric dance in here. So over here, I have a stack of all of the fabrics that I had left over from my cutting, because, you know, this little pattern here really didn't take too much. So let's go over here to our desk cam and I'll show you guys the pattern that we're making. It is a completely free pattern that you can download from Connecting Threads website. They have plenty of patterns there to keep you busy. And there's one, it's called Echo's Table Runner, but I've decided to make this one red, white, and blue to celebrate our 250. So we're going to do a whole series of celebrating 250, and we're going to have many different several small projects. I've decided I'm going to focus on small projects for America 250 because there's just so many big ones out there that are going on. So we're going to stick to the small ones. And thanks to Sue Galvin for that idea. So we're going to do that. And here's the first one. There's going to be a whole series of different things that you can do. This is going to be one. And again, if you're not interested in doing red, white, and blue, you can pick any fabric that you want. The design is absolutely gorgeous, and it's going to be a great addition to our home here. So it just adds a little sparkle to your project. Remember, you can do other things besides fabric as well, right? You want to put a little bit of vinyl, you want to put other things on here. Think outside of the box and think of other things that you do. Yesterday, someone brought up being able to embroider something around it. Definitely something that you can do in all of this empty space here that will allow you to do that. So think outside the box and think about what you would like to do, because these are little projects that can really make things change and really dress up. I mean, a table runner kind of sets the stage, right, for that dining room table. So you can definitely do that. All right, so this is the leftover on just the one fabric, right? I'm using a lot of scraps here, and I've got plenty to make 2, 3, 4 table runners. I mean, it's crazy. There's so much left over on here. So I'm going to put this over to the side. And over here, I have all of the cutting that I did last night, and you can see I labeled it, and you know, it's a really easy cut on here. A lot of these pieces are all the same size, so A, D, F, H, these are all the same sizes, and then these squares here are all the same sizes, you know. And really the only odd pieces or different from everything else was just like there's a couple here, one here, and then you have your fabric down here. This was probably the biggest cut that we had, where we had a square and we had to cut it down into 4 pieces. So that's the only one, and this is probably going to be the trickiest one to work with because you've got all this bias now that you're having to work with. So yeah, it's really a pretty easy cut, so very beginner friendly, and you know, it's just really nice. So little table runner, you know, it's like having a little fabric just kind of hug your table, especially when it's going around the America 250, right? All righty, so let's go ahead, and I'm gonna wake up Miss Molly because we've got to wake her up and get her going here. We've got lots to sew. So wakey to Miss Molly over here. Here we go. Let's wake her up, because she's got to wake up and we got a lot of things to do. So I'm going to prep this over here, move my threads out to the back and out of the way. Alrighty, she's nice and awake, and as I kind of look on here, we kind of went through the instructions yesterday, so I'm just going to jump right into the sewing. And let me see if I put this on this side. We're going to need fabrics N and L, and of course I went ahead and labeled everything here, and one of them are the pieces down here, so we're going to need N. Doesn't really matter which corner you take, so just grab one here. And I'm also going to need fabric L, so we'll go ahead and grab one of these. Okay. Alrighty, and so if I look at the instructions, one of the things about this particular pattern is that placement matters, right? Because we are dealing with little angles, you want to make sure that you are placing everything in the right side. So have the instructions nearby and just kind of lay them out on your flat surface here, and make sure that you are looking at what you are putting together and looking at the instructions to make sure that the angles are going the same way. In this case, you can see that bias right here is on my left-hand side. Just make sure that you're not doing it this way, right? We want to look at the pictures and the instructions and make sure we're going the right way. So these are just the first 2 pieces that we're putting together. Pretty simple. You want to line up this edge right here. You're going to have a piece right here of fabric end that's going to be sticking out. So that is completely normal. That's part of the design. So go ahead and just do right sides together and line it up, and then go ahead and bring it to your sewing machine. And we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam coming all the way across here. So let's go do that. Bring that here. I'm going to do my little tap tap over here on the sides, right? Making sure that I am on the edge of both fabrics. Okay. And then I'm going to bring this over and we're going to line her up. And my little thread came off. There we go. All righty. Line her up right here so she's ready to go. And let me grab my little petal here on the bottom, and I think we're ready. Okay. And let me just check, because I did change my seam. I'm going to leave it to about 2.5 inches. I think that'll be fine. I was doing some paper piecing, so I had mine set at 1.5. And I don't want to do that. I'm only wanted at 1.5 when I'm doing paper piecing. So don't need to have the stitch length so tight when we're just doing regular piecing. So here we are. Now the book does tell you to bring that seam allowance up. So I'm just going to finger press that here, and you want to have your nice flush edge on the side right here. Okay, so just finger press that down. And then we're going to go to the next step, which is just another piece that you're going to be getting, and that is fabric J. So I'm going to go ahead and look for that one. And we're going to piece that together. So again, right sides together is what you're looking for. This one's pretty simple, just putting them right on top like that. And now we're going to just sew a 1/4 inch seam right here. Okay. Again, you can do the tap tap, making sure your pieces are together. Okay. And it looks like this is going to get put together in no time. Let me just grab this a second, because I think I shifted it by mistake. Yeah, here we go. That looks better. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Now I did a little bit of a jiggle on here, a little bit here, but it's a little jiggle, little there, here and there. It's going to be okay. I'm not going to worry too much about it. It did slip a little bit on me. Okay. So have that, and I'm going to make sure my seam allowance is again going up. So I'm going to finger press that so that it is up here. Here we go. Okay, that looks good. So that is our first piece right here. And then we're going to also do, let's see here, it's N and L. And then we're going to do a second piece. So we're going to do the first one. We actually did 3. We're going to do another one with just the 2, the N and the L. So go ahead and grab another one, 1 L and 1 N. Have to grab that from underneath. Couldn't fit them all in one board. And we're going to do the same thing again. And these are just going to be like right on top of each other. So let's go ahead and do right sides together on that. Okay. Yeah, Terry, that is a beautiful, quick gift that you can give. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, it really doesn't take very much. And this is the type of project that, you know, maybe you have a granddaughter or some kids that, you know, are interested in sewing. This is a really nice, easy project. The only tricky piece is working with that bias and just making sure that you don't stretch that out. But it is a really simple simple table runner. You can definitely do this with someone. So I think it works out really, really nice. Okay, let's see. This has the seam allowance going up. Okay, so now here we are. We've got our two pieces here. Okay. Let's see. It doesn't say anything about trimming off this piece right here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with the instructions and just line this up together. So put these two together. We're going to sew all the way down here, which let me just double check here. Yep. Sew to the top of L. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about trimming, so we're not doing any trimming. So we're just going to go ahead and line these two up together, and we're going to do yet another 1/4 inch right here. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this, and I'm just going to line this up here. And see what happens here. Okay, and I'm looking at my seams. They look like they're lined up, and I'm just eyeballing this, guys. No pins here, so we'll see what happens, okay? We're going to go with it. Continue to go all the way up to the end. Just following the instructions here. We've got that 1/4 inch seam. So now we're going to open this up. Let's do that down here so we can see what we have here. It's telling us our seam needs to go this way. So I'm going to use my fingers to press that. And you can see the very first piece is on its way. So we've got a nice, even little line here, lines here, and lines here are all trimmed and flushed together. And then we have this one little point that sticks out here. So that stays right there. So now let's go give this a quick little press here and have this nice and flat. And we're gonna make 2 of these. So we're gonna be making another one in just a minute. So if you missed something from the first one, we'll be doing it again. All right, let me just lay this nice and flat. We've got a few seams and we want to make sure they're going the right way. So just lay it nice and flat on here and then grab your iron. Let's see, do we have this heated up? I think we got to turn her on, huh? That might help a little bit. All right, let me just move Miss Molly over to the side so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay. All right, so now I'm kind of doing this a little bit dangerous here. I didn't use any pins. So if you can use pins, go ahead and use some pins. But I just feel like living on the dangerous side today. So we're not going to do pins today. We're going to try to just do this like this and see what happens, right? Why not? Got to be a little adventurous. Now, of course, we're not ironing all over the place. We're pressing, right? So we're going to park our little car, sit right on top of the fabric. This is not a drive-through. You don't drive your iron all over the place. We're pressing. So park your iron. No worries. They're not going to charge you any kind of parking meter. You don't have to pay anything. Just park your iron and make sure that the heat is getting absorbed by the fabric, okay? No need to iron here. We're just parking. So put that down right there and just leave it, okay? Let the heat get absorbed and go into the seam so it can set that seam really well, okay? This is not a drive-through, okay? We don't have drive-throughs here. We just park. We like to park them, okay? All right. So she's sitting there. She's really nice and hot now, so I think we're good. So you can see she's laying nice and flat there. And I think she came out just great. There you go. Not too bad. Maybe a little bit after I pressed it, just a little came out right here. And I can easily just kind of grab my ruler and trim that if I wanted to. Matter of fact, why don't I go ahead and do that? Let me see. Did I leave my ruler out here? No, I think I put it away. So let me just grab it. I think I've got a small one here. Yeah, we could use this one. So there's little adjustments that you can make along the way. So I want to make sure this stays nice and flat. And I had a little bit of a piece that came out on me. So if I want to make sure this is nice and even, you know, you can just go here, lay it flat. Let me just grab my little rotary cutter and I'm going to just cut that little snip off. And that will help even it out. And if you want to drag it all the way up in case there's anything else. I'm not cutting that little tail, that dog ear down here. I'm just kind of making sure that I'm nice and even here on the side. So went ahead and trimmed that off. Wasn't too much, but it was enough that it would bug me. So, you know, quilts just, you know, they have imperfections in them, right? But if you can't see a moving car, right? If you don't see it from a moving car, then it's all good. So we're good right here. I just like to see it nice and even. All right, so there's your first piece. And now we're going to go ahead and do our second one. So let's go ahead and grab some of those pieces again. I'm going to grab 2 of these because I know we're going to need 2 of them. And be really careful handling these because you've got a lot of stretch in them. And you definitely do not want to stretch them out. Okay, so the first one is going to use N. Okay, we're going to be making 2. And let's see here. They're going to be going the same way because we're going to rotate one of them. But the angle is going the same way. So make sure you angle this correctly. And you have this underneath here. This is going to be coming up next. So let's go with this. We're going to do right sides together and align this up right there alongside. You're going to have this little piece sticking out here and up on the top, and that's totally fine. Okay, so let me move my board over and grab Miss Molly and bring her back in again. And we're going to go ahead and do a 1/4 inch seam right down here. Okay. So go ahead and grab this here. Make sure you don't move your fabrics and set her down. Line her up and get her going. Okay, there we go. Then I'm just going to set her down and make sure that I am setting those seams in the right direction. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and start the next one, which again, orientation, very important. You're going to want to grab J and L. Okay, so let's see, L goes first and then goes J. So N, did we do that right the first time? Yeah, we did. Okay. Wait a minute. Which one is L? This one is L. This one is J. There we go. Oh my goodness. Had a moment there. All right. There we are. And so now all we need to do is go ahead and put these together. I can do these 2 together and then these 2, or I can do these 2 and then those 2. I'm just going to do it the same way. I'm going to line these up here, get this one done. And we're going to do a 1/4 inch right here on the bottom. Okay, so remember, we are making sure these seams are nice and straight. Snuggle them up like they're best friends. Okay, make sure that they are wanting each other here. Okay, so let me grab this over here, and I'm going to go ahead and do that and bring Miss Molly over here and bring her over. It's easier for me to do it right when I'm next to the needle. Okay. Let's bring her in there. Okay, so here we go, another seam. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to just take my fingers and I just look to see which way the seam needs to go. Just with my fingernails. Pressing them down for now, and then I'll go ahead and grab the other piece, and I'll go ahead and line that one up and get that going. Very simple, really. It is some really simple sewing on here, even though you are working with that bias, you know, as long as you don't handle it all too much, you know, it will not stretch. But don't pull it and tug it and do any of that stuff, because we want it to just stay exactly the way it is. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. We've got our second piece here, and we are going to press that with our nails. There we go. And now these two have gotten put together, and we're ready to just kind of put these together. Now I just finger press these. You can press them and then go ahead and sew them, but I'm just going to wing it. Like I said, we're feeling dangerous today, guys. We are dangerous this morning. Living on the edge. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and just pull that together right there, because I want to get as much done as I can today, since I will not be with you guys tomorrow. I'll be missing you tomorrow morning. Trust me, as I sit in that traffic. Not too happy about that traffic. But, you know, it's Miami, and that's just how it is here. So we're going to get to deal with it. So here we go. Put that on here. And let's go ahead and sew that. And I'm just going to check. I didn't even check my seams. Hopefully they will snuggle up together, like we said, right? They're just best friends. They're besties over here. There we go. And then make sure I'm nice and straight for the rest of the way. And here we are again. All right. Okay. Nope. Got the little camera cord coming off on Miss Molly there. There we go. Okay. So we've got this going on. And that looks good. And the seam is going on underneath this way. Okay. So here we are. I finger pressed yet another one. Don't have anything to trim off really, but we'll see after we iron, because that's where the real test comes in, right? Some little things can move around and spread out a little bit. So you may want to do a little trim here, trim there if you need to. No worries. It happens. You can do it. And it's better that you do it as you go along than waiting until the very end, right? So let's go ahead, and again, not a drive-through, we're just pressing, so just park it right there and let the heat do the work, right? We're not here to work too much, right? We're just here to have fun. So let the iron do the work. We parked it, and she's ready to go. So let that heat get absorbed in there, and then we're gonna flip it over. And I'm going to do it on this side as well. Maybe move a little bit further up. There we go. And as you do this, all the seams will be nice and flat. And so let's see what we got here. We've got our two pieces ready to go. And on here, what we're going to end up doing towards the end is these are going to be flipped. So they're going to, the little diagonals are going to be opposite of each other, as you can see right here. But we've got to put something in the middle, right? Something in the middle needs to go. And so we're going to have our nice fabric C over here in between the two. And that's going to serve as our center. So if this square, if you got something that you want embroidered or anything, you may want to take this piece, embroider it, do whatever it is you want to make this special, because this is our center. It's our focal point on the design. So if you look at the table runner pattern, you can see the picture here. This here is the star of the show. And that's what this square represents. So if you want to make that something a little bit special, you can maybe do some little embroidery work on here or whatever it is that you do. But just make sure that after you've done that embroidery work or whatever it is you're doing, that your measurements are cut out to the exact amount required in the pattern. Okay, so you don't want to do embroidery work that may pull the fabric in and, you know, give yourself a little bit of an awkward square. So maybe even before you cut this piece out, go ahead and do whatever you want to do to make this a little bit special, and then cut it out per the requirements and put it on here. That way you have everything all set up. So that's the perfect time. This is the time to do it if you're going to make anything out of that center square. This is the first one we're doing, so I'm just going to keep it simple and keep it there. I may do some embroidery work on when we get to that white area around the ends, but we'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. Okay, so now I think we are ready to put this first row all together. Pretty simple here, right? All we've got to do now is do right sides together, and let's go ahead and line this up with fabric C, and then we're going to go ahead and sew her on the top, and we're going to sew the bottom piece down here on the bottom, just making sure that your alignment and your placement is there and done correctly. So let's go ahead and grab Miss Molly over here, and I'm going to do my little tap 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 here, making sure I'm all lined up, and then I will just check again and bring her to the machine. So let's line her up underneath. Move this over just a tad. There we go. That works a little better. And then I am going to just go ahead and sew. We've got that seam allowance. It is going the right direction. So I'm going to let that lay flat. There we go. So we've got that nice little seam there. Okay. And then we'll open her up, and I'm just going to flatten this out with my fingers here. And now we're going to go and do the other side. So let me scoot her over just a tad, lay her down flat. If you wanted to iron this right now, you can, but I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, making sure that my diagonal is opposite. Okay, you want to make sure these are on opposite sides. Very important on this pattern. And then go ahead and lay this flat. So here it is. I'm going to grab that, and we're going to go ahead and bring that to our machine here. And let me put this over here. And I'm just checking my seam. In this case, my seam is on the opposite direction, so I want to make sure it doesn't flip on me. So I'm going to put a little pressure on my finger right here to make sure that she stays nice and flat. There we go. So I know she's locked in place, so now I can focus on the end. There we are. Okay. Let's pull that over. I think we've got our first row nice and complete. And I'll just go ahead and press this down, and let's bring over our iron and flatten those seams here. So drive through and park it, right? Let her sit there and just absorb the heat. Okay, here we are. Let's get her in there. And then I'm going to do the other one. So nice and hot there. Get those seams going the way I want. And just park her right there. And we've already got the first row completed. Wasn't that really quick? I mean, this table runner is just going to fly right through. Okay. Here we are. And guys, don't forget the link to get this free pattern is down below in the description. So you guys can do this along with me. It's just so quick. You can do this in just about an afternoon. Really, really nice. So we've got this center piece all put in place. And this is what it looks like. So we're ready to now work on row number 2. So we're already on step number 3, and row 2 is just kind of the same of building these together. So we're going to continue to build these out and bring this out further and further until we have the length of our table runner. So let's grab some more fabric here. Let's see, we're going to need, and I like to kind of lay it out so I can see what it looks like. We're going to need fabric H. We're going to need an L. We're going to need the N twice. So I'm going to get 2 of those. Okay. And you want to check the orientation, making sure that you're doing this on the right side of that triangle. We're also going to need, what is that? G. So we'll grab that one. Another L. I think I grabbed 2 of them. Okay, whoops. And then the N going the other way. So N, L, H, G, L, and N again. And let's see, if you notice here, we've got these going in opposite directions as well. Very important. So you should be, now for every row that you put through, they should all be lining up with the diagonal going the same way. So on this side, the diagonal is going to be on my right-hand side here. And then on the flip side, the diagonal is on the left-hand side here. So making sure that that lines up together, okay? And that's going to be your second row that we're going to put together. And then we're going to make 2 of these because we're going to have 1 row here and then another row. And then we're just going to continue to build it out. So let's go ahead and do that. I mean, this is a really great project. Now, a new table runner can really change the mood of a room, right? Faster than a coat of paint, right? So let's go ahead and do that here. I'm gonna bring Miss Molly back over again. And I've got a little bit of a space issue. So let me just move some of these things around so I can bring Miss Molly closer to me. Head this over here and scoot this over. Okay, much better. Alrighty, so where do we start in sewing? It's wherever you're comfortable with, right? There's no particular order in the instructions. It doesn't really tell you which one to sew first in this case. So just do what you're more comfortable with. You can start here in the middle, work your way out, and then do that bottom edge. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing here, just because it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to put these 2 together here. And we're going to do our tap, tap, tap here. Make sure they're lined up on the bottom. And I think we're good. I'm going to bring her on over and just do that 1/4 inch seam. There we go. All right. And then I will just glance to see where the seams are going in this particular case. And it looks like all the seams are going to be pressed down on this top portion here. So everything here comes down. And then when you get to this bottom portion, the seams are going up. So go ahead and press that with my fingers. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab that top triangle piece and I'm going to line her up just like we did with the other row. Okay, so go ahead and do that again. No pins. I'm doing this on the dangerous side. Woo! We are just being real dangerous today. Okay.
You're so crazy.
All right. Here we go. Let's move this back just a tad here. We got that little piece that's sticking out and we don't need to sew that. So we're going to move that out of the way. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and press this down and grab the next one. So you can see that's moving along. Here we go. And then we're just going to grab the next one, line that up, and do the same thing. I think the key here is making sure you are hitting that 1/4 inch seam, because you want everything to line up on you. Uh-oh, did my thread come off? Yes, it did. Oopsie. I think I pulled it off by mistake. Sorry, guys.
Nope.
Let me go ahead.
Did you tell them that I made a table runner?
Oh, that's right. Mr. H made a table runner, guys.
But would I like to see it?
Would you guys like to see the table runner?
Let me know in the chat.
Mr. H made a table runner, and he thinks that his table runner is going to be better than mine. So,
But would they like to see it?
would you guys like to see the table runner that Mr. H made? Let me know in the comments if you do, and he will bring it out. You know, he likes to be involved and do things that I'm doing. So, you know, we've got to entertain that, right?
Yes. Here's my table runner.
Did they say yes? Okay, great. So while you do that, I'm just threading this, and then we can go ahead. Go ahead and show it.
There it is.
There we are. So he has
Beautiful.
his own patriotic table runner.
It's beautiful. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh yes, it's
I
gorgeous.
think it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous, and I think you nailed every seam on there.
Charming is what it is.
It's charming, yes. I think you did a great job, but you know, how long did it take you to do?
Ta-da!
It's perfect. All righty. Mr. H and all his shenanigans. I don't know. He gets it going, guys. All right, so now the seam allowances on this bottom half are going to go the other way. So we're going to have them going down instead of up. Okay, so make sure that your seam allowances are doing that. So just double check on here. It's telling you, I'm sorry, the seam allowances here are going down. The seam allowances here are going up. So make sure that you're pressing that in the right direction, because it's going to help you later on as you add the rows together. So go ahead and press them with your fingers. And then we're ready for the next one. Line this up. Make sure you're on a flat surface when you're doing this piece here. It really helps to make sure that you're landing this nice and straight. And then just bring that over to your machine. And let's do that next seam here. Okay. And we'll go ahead and open this up again. Seam going up. And then you're checking on your little triangle. Make sure she's going the right direction, right? We're lining her up with that first row. So my angle right here is on my right hand side over here, going in the same direction as this one here. So we're just gonna line her up this way, making sure that this is nice and lined up on this side, lined up on this side, right? And we're gonna take a 1/4 inch and go right along the bottom here. Okay. And we're just going to bring her right here and sew that in place. Here we are. Okay. Let's scoot this over to the side. We've got to do some pressing. Let's open her up. And let's see, seams going this way. Okay. There we go. Just laying nice and flat there. So let me bring my iron over and I'm going to go ahead and press every one of these seams. They deserve a little bit of attention. So let's just kind of park her right there. And let that heat do its thing. If you have a clapper, you can use a clapper as well. Again, no, not that kind of clapper. No, it is not. But, you know, I was talking to Mr. H earlier and I told him, you know, you must have been one of those annoying little kids that were sitting in the back of the classroom running all the little jokes every single day. That had to have been him, right? I think that's what he did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He was just one of those kids that just cracked jokes all day long in class. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was him, all right. Definitely. But then he would, you know, get hundreds on his test, right? Oh, wasn't that annoying? When you would see that in class. So annoying. Alrighty, so we're almost here. That hurt. That's the truth. You know, it's the truth.
Maybe, but I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, okay. Definitely one of those. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and it got a little curl coming here, so I'm gonna bring that down a little. Okay, here we go. There is our second row ready to go here. Okay, and so you have to make 2 of these, so we're going to make another one just like it, and it'll continue to build through. Now the second one, if you notice, I think what we're going to end up doing is flipping this over, and the second one will be on this side, right? So that's why you're making 2 of them. It's going to be 1 for each side, and you're going to be flipping it over in the end. So right now these 2 will go together, so we got to make 1 more. So I'm going to continue building this out and continue making my rows all the way through. And I hope that you guys are doing this along with me and are going to go ahead and make all of your rows as you go as well. I will not be here tomorrow, so you have plenty to keep you busy to make all of your rows all the way across. When we come back on Friday, we're going to try to do our borders. Okay, so you would have all of your rows done, and then you can go ahead and piece them together. Okay, so line them up here. Make sure your seams are nice and even here. Just like I have as I put this together here, you should see that they're lining up here. Okay, so you're going to have nice long lines going across here. Okay, so make sure that those are nice and lined up. You're just going to do right sides together, and you're going to go ahead and attach that piece as you go. Okay, make sure you snuggle up these seams like they are the bestie friends that they are. And then you go ahead and do that 1/4 inch seam all the way down, and then go ahead and press them open. Okay, so you should have nice straight lines here. And you're going to do that for all the rows going across, and then we're going to be putting together that white border all the way around when we get back, and just finishing up the table runner, because it's really, really amazing how quickly this comes together. Could you use a charm pack to make this? Let's see, a charm pack. For the most part, someone asked yesterday if you could use a jelly roll, and yes, you can, but you have that center piece right here. This is a free pattern, so I don't mind telling you the cuts, but that center piece is 4.5 inch square. So for your jelly roll, you would have to have this center piece. But the rest of them, they're all cut at 2.5 inches by some kind of length. But for a charm pack, we have a couple of cuts that require a 2.5 by a 6.5. So that's the only piece here and there that you would need, and that is actually fabric K. That's the 6.5-inch piece. So you definitely need to kind of check that here. Let's see here. So here, actually, you're going to go this way and this way. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Carrie's saying the third row is wrong. Third row is wrong. Let's see. What's the third row? That would be this one here. Let me just check did we do a boo-boo? I hope not. Let's see. We've got third row. Third row is this one, this one. We've got L and L, A. And I picked G. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. She is correct. Hang on. I think I was looking at this one when I should have been looking at this one. Let me just make sure here. Okay, we've got these two. We've got this put together. The illustration comes before the actual text, and I'm used to seeing it the other way around. So hopefully I didn't get my pictures all messed up here. Let's see. This is H. No, it's this picture here. Okay, so we've got H, we've got G. That's correct. Then we've got L, then we've got N. No, this looks correct. And then we've got L and N.
They're saying on the instructions.
On the instructions. On the instructions, it says, so N, L, H, G, L, and N in the row as shown above. Press as shown, make 2. So you're going to make 2 of these right here. When you get, let's see, to your second one, you're making 2 of them. So when you get to your row 3, this is the one that you're going to be making. So we're making this one. So this one's here. Yep, that looks correct. It looks fine to me. In this next illustration, you are picking up fabric A, which is a little odd because fabric A, it makes it look like it's a square, but it's not a square. It's actually a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's a rectangle here. But yeah, I'm following the letters and I'm following the numbers, and we'll just continue to go along. If something gets a little screwy, just make sure that you're checking off as you go along. I think that kind of helps because it's a little confusing when you kind of figure out, is this step 2 and then you're looking at this illustration, but it's actually the illustration first and then the instructions. So just make sure that you're picking the right picture that goes with the right instruction here. So we've done step 1, step 2, and now step 3, and we're going to make 2 of these. So after that, we're going to be moving over to number 4 over here, and you'll make 2 of those. And it looks exactly, almost looks exactly the same. You've got your angles going the same way, but you're swapping out different fabrics on here.
A should be B.
A should be B on the instructions? A should be B. That could be because the picture has a square on it, but the cut is not a square, it's a rectangle. So yeah, you guys could be right. There could be an error in the instructions. I agree with that. Let's see if in another picture it has a B on it. Yeah, it doesn't say. All the other ones don't say. Well, be wary of that, okay? We will definitely check that out. So when you line it up, you'll know, and this is why I like to kind of lay it out beforehand, right? If I were to lay this out and I were to put fabric A, like they're saying, You know, I don't think that would be correct. So yeah, that's probably B is what it needs right here. Yeah, I think you guys are right. They made a mistake on that pattern. So you definitely have to look out. Mistakes can be made. We're all human, guys. So yeah, be careful with that. And, you know, take a look at that and make sure that you're gathering that correctly. All right, so check your pattern as you're doing it and lay things out before you sew them down. You want to make sure because, you know, people make mistakes too. We're all human. All right, guys, our time is up and I do have to go off to work today. And, you know, we're going to come and leave all this stuff here. And when I get back, I'll continue my sewing. Again, will not be here tomorrow, but I will see you here back on Friday. And we'll see what happens with our little issue here. So let's see what everybody comes up with. If anything, we'll get it all sorted out, I'm sure. So thanks, Carrie, for pointing that out. I hope you guys just go ahead and lay your fabrics out before you sew them down, okay? All right, guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And thank you so much for all of your support. I really appreciate it. And I hope you had a little bit of a fun giggle in your morning. So hope you guys have a fantastic day. And I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.